Hi, welcome back to my channel, The Bag Maker Society. My name's Deb. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you not my bag making journey, but my husband's bag making journey. If any of you have been watching the podcast recently, you will have heard me talking about my husband starting to make his own bags. So he has kindly allowed me to share with you the bags that he's made. He's very camera shy and isn't very comfortable coming on and talking about the bags he's made himself. But he said that I can share them with you and talk you through the ones that he's made, how he's made them, and yeah. And then if anybody's got any comments or questions, leave them in the description, leave them in the comments box down below, and I'll answer them, or I'll ask him and he will answer them as well. So he has done a couple of little talk through videos on his bags, but like I say, he is a little bit shy and wasn't very comfortable on filming a big video on them. But I know a lot of you were really keen to not only see his bags but also hear the sort of story and the journey that he's been on to make them. So I thought I would, like I say, share them with you and talk you through what's led him into wanting to have a go. So I'm going to kind of go back and share with you the first bag that he made. So he had a pair of jeans that didn't fit anymore, and he wanted to utilise them and turn them into just sort of like a little crossbody bag. He wanted to use the pocket of the jeans and sort of turn them into a feature. And he was asking my opinion on what would be the best way to do that. And we were talking about it, and he was searching through the massive amount of patterns that I have. And I was talking about one pattern in particular, and I said, you know, you could use basically the main panel of this bag and, you know, be able to use the pocket. And that's what he did. So this is the bag that he made. So this is the crossbody bag that he made. Well, it was actually two pairs of jeans, because it's one pair of jeans on the front and it's a different pair of jeans on the back. And the panel is actually from the Crafted Crossbody by Crafted by Leanne. And you will see that there isn't the strap sort of panel that goes in to put the strap connectors on. We simply, well, I kind of gave him the idea, but he attached the strap connectors just into the side so that obviously the pocket was still fully usable. He took off the label and reattached it so that that was still able to be incorporated into the bag. And he used an old shirt as the lining. And I'm not sure if you can see, but he also took this part out of the pocket and stitched it on to the lining as well. He made his own straps out of the jeans as well, and hopefully you can see that in the camera. But he joined the pieces to create a strap. I simply sort of explained about attaching them on an angle so that it distributed the seam across the strap. He put all of that together. He put the zip in, and he did it all himself. There was no parts where, you know, I stepped in, I took over. He kind of followed the pattern all himself. There was some bits where, you know, he asked my opinion on where to cut out, which would be the best way to cut out. But the rest of it, he did it all himself. He did this on my PAF, I don't know how it's pronounced, I have a 620 Ambition, which I very, very rarely use because I'm not very keen on that machine. But he made that on this bag. He made this bag on that machine. So yeah, so this is his first attempt ever at making a bag. And I don't know if it showed very well on the camera, but I mean, that's his top stitching. I'm so proud. I am like so proud. It was so straight, and especially on a machine that isn't the best at handling very thick seams. You know, denim is notoriously quite difficult, not difficult to sew through, but thick to sew through. It has a little bit of fusible fleece, so you know, I gave him some little tips and tricks on getting the fusible fleece to stick. So I mean, this is his first completed bag ever. So then a week or two later, I was down at the was it the Festival of Quilts? It was the Festival of Quilts in Birmingham, and I had met up with Emma from Studio 77, and we were wandering around, and I get to WhatsApp, how do you thread your machine? I was like, which machine? It was still working on the faff. And we have taken pictures as he has been working on these. Like I say, he's not particularly wanting to be filmed or what have you, but we have took pictures. So I will go on and find them, and you know, if I can find them, I will insert them as I go. So me and Emma were walking around the Festival of Quilts, and I get this text message, WhatsApp message, saying about how to thread my machine. I was like, why? So he then face called me, and he was working on another bag, and he decided to make a Tribbiani Traveller. So again, he'd gone rooting through my patterns, and I had previously made myself and my husband a trio of Tribbianis. I have made a video on it, so I'll link it, you can go and watch it. As a travel set, we absolutely love that set. I had you know, a set in mind that I wanted, and it turned out perfectly. So he also had a Tribbiani in his head that he wanted to create. So he got the pattern out and cut the bag out. He had been in the room quite a bit when I'd made all three of my Tribbiani. So he had been around when I'd been making it. He'd sort of asked questions as I'd been making the Tribbiani Traveller. So I think he had quite a good understanding of how it had gone together. He is actually an admin as well in the Bag Maker Society Club. So it does mean that he has access to all of the videos in that club, and there is a sew along for the Tribbiani Traveller in the Bag Maker Society Club. So he could well have gone in and watched any of the videos if he did get stuck. I haven't asked him. I should have asked him if he did that. But he cut it all out himself, because I wasn't even in the county. I was away at the time, and the only help and support that he needed for the entire time of making this bag was how to thread the machine. And me and Emma talked him through how to do it on FaceTime or WhatsApp time, because you know, we don't have iPhones. And he made this bag completely from beginning to end while I was away. And he actually patchworked his pieces as well. I promise you, you're going to be blown away when you see it. Now, he wanted a wash style bag for this bag. So like I say, he was very specific in his mind of the bag that he wanted, and I think it turned out amazing. So this is the bag that he made. So like I say, he's patchworked all of this together. So this is the jeans. It's some that was left over from, I think, the other side of the first bag. This was a pair of chino type jeans, so soft, so soft. And then this here is some orange leather, some scraps of orange leather. So he has patchworked all of these together, and I'm going to come in closer so again I can show you his top stitching. He was sending me and Emma pictures as we were walking around the Festival of Quilts, and both me and Emma were just like, oh my god, his top stitching is amazing. And neither of us knew whether to be sort of immensely happy or really annoyed that his top stitching is so amazing after such little practice. He's obviously just got a real God-given talent, because it's just so good and so straight. It's, yeah. And then he did the back. He did the 2 panels and then the orange in the center. And then he did his strap connectors with the orange leather. And I've got to say, I wasn't upset that he raided my leather stash. You know, I would have been normally, but he created such an amazing wash bag. He then used an old polo shirt, which he interfaced, and again it has got fusible fleece for some structure, but he didn't want it overly structured. Like I say, it is sort of like a wash bag. It's just for putting some toiletries in, for when he takes me away on nice weekends. But it's really roomy, so you know there's plenty of space in there for lots of things, or you know, you can use it to start putting his own bag making supplies in as well. But it's got, I don't know if you can see that, it's got a skull skeleton zipper pull. He did raid my hardware stash as well, which again completely forgave him for, because he did make such an amazing bag. He used Decaville heavy in the base, which he kept out of his seams. He spends a lot of time around me, so he obviously hears, you know, when I'm doing lives or tutorials about keeping Decaville out of your seams and fusible fleece out of your seam. So he did all of those things, and I think he just made a corker. It's pretty much all I can say to this one, is that it is a corker. I love it, and I think he did amazingly well. And it leads me on to his next make. I should say he has made a couple of other things sort of in between, which he has kind of drafted up in his head, things that he's wanted to make, and he hasn't been particularly happy with them. So then what he's done is cannibalize what he's made for parts and what have you. So there has been a few things that have been made in between that I'm not able to show you, because yeah, like I say, he's already hacked them to bits to cannibalize them for parts. But over last weekend he made this, and this is a messenger bag that again he had in his head that he wanted to make. He started a new job and he wanted a laptop bag. I don't know which way I'm going, this way. And yeah, so he's previously been using for work retro sling that I made him a little while ago. I mean, it only took me 7 years of being together for me to make him a bag. So this time he just decided he was just going to make his own, because he didn't want to wait another 7 years. So he made this, which is the Starling, I think it's Starling, messenger bag by Bagstock. And this is a waterproof canvas on the outside and quilting cotton on the inside. And it's definitely sort of, you know, quite classy on the outside and then party on the inside. So we were out a few weeks ago and we went down to a friend's fabric shop down in Darlington, which is called Sew Fabrics Darlington. I will link it in the description box down below. And this fabric caught his eye. And he'd sort of said, I'd love that for the inside of a messenger bag. And I said, well, get it. And he said, oh, and I was like, no, just get it. Get it now while we're here, and then, you know, decide what you want to make. I said, get a meter. That's our bag makers. That's our standard. Get a meter. It will be enough. So yeah, so we cut it. Well, he cut it out, I think Friday night, and we made it over Friday night, Saturday, and a little bit into Sunday. So he cut it out all himself. Pattern pieces were already there, I think. And yeah, I had some patterns that I needed to prep for some upcoming lives and things within the club. So I was just kind of pottering on in the background, doing a lot of prep so that I was just there if he needed me. And he just kind of cracked on and made it. There was the occasional, which bits is this bit going to, and what have you. And when he came to put the gusset in, you know, I gave him the little tip of sewing round the gusset first at around about 1/4 of an inch and then going in with his full seam. And that is really the only sort of help and, you know, guidance really that I sort of jumped in and gave him. But I think he did an amazing job. So it's got a pocket on the front, like a slip pocket on the front. We went for brass hardware. I mean, I always go for brass. You know, I'm a sucker for brass. So I just sort of, I stood back and I was like, right, what hardware do you want? And he was like, well, do you think brass would go well? And I said, well, I think brass goes with everything because it's my default. But we tried a few other hardware finishes up against it, and the brass did look the best. So that is what he went for. On the inside, he had got a laptop pocket. Hopefully you can see that. And that has a cam snap just to sort of keep that in place. And then on this side, it's got 3 pen sort of pockets and a slip pocket on either side, as well as the zip pocket. I will insert a picture of the pocket sort of box that he did, which was absolutely perfect. Like, not a pucker in sight. It was just so well done. It's then got a little a zip on the back, and I think that was pretty much the only sort of kind of mistake that was made is top stitching, was forgetting to change the top stitching over, which we have all been there. I do it all the time, but it does not change how the bag looks or functions. It still looks and functions absolutely perfectly. The strap connectors on the side, I think, are beautifully put in and riveted in. Again, all brass hardware. The strap was pre-bought webbing, sort of matches fairly well, slightly different in colour, but I think it goes really well, and it came together so well. He didn't have any problems with any of his pieces not meeting, so obviously all of his seams were sewn really, really accurately. There was no point that he sort of came to me and said, these bits don't match, or these bits aren't going together. Just come in a little bit closer and let you see that top stitching on those curves. So yes, I think in total this is the 5th bag, because I think there was two others in between. So this is the 5th bag in total that he has made. And I think, like I say, I think it just shows that he has got very much a natural talent for it. And I am in real fear of losing my sewing machine, because this one he did sew on the jack. So previously he had tried the jack and he wasn't keen. He put his foot on the foot pedal. He was like, absolutely not, no way. So this time when he went to sew on this one, I was like, just try it. Try. I'm milling around. So if you're not, I can help. We turned it right down. I mean, I never have my jack set really high. I only ever sew on about 400, 450. But that's still, quite speedy when you're getting used to it. So we turned it right down to its lowest setting, and yeah, just said, take your time. There's no rush. We've got all weekend. It doesn't have to be finished by Monday. You've got a bag to use anyway. And I think, by the end of it, he was really starting to get used to it. And I said to him, once, for me, I now struggle to go back to a domestic. And I said, probably once you get used to it, you've sewn a couple of bags on the industrial, you'll probably find you won't want to sew a bag on the domestic, which will now leave us with the problem that if he wants to make bags more regularly, where do we put two industrials? I mean, affording two industrials is one thing, but where do we put two industrials is another. Yeah, you might need a man cave. We might need to work something out. Might need to put a caravan on the drive for him, but that's a problem for another day. But yeah, I am in fear of losing Jack. Let's see, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I'm happy that he has got used to the jack, because I think it does open up more scope for him to tackle bags that I know he's got in his head, and with materials that I know he's got in his head, that I think he probably would have struggled with using the machine that he was using, and he would feel that he wasn't capable of doing it when it was the machine that wasn't capable of doing it. Where if he gets to grips with using the industrial machine, he's absolutely flying, which, I mean, this bag proves that more than anything. He's done an amazing job. So I hope for those of you that were wanting to see the bags that he'd made, you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's okay with you that it's me that shared it and not him. Like I say, he's not very keen on being on camera. Whether we entice him onto camera at some point, we shall see. Maybe that's a journey for further down the line. But if he's happy for me to share what he makes and how he makes them, what have you, and you're happy to hear me sharing his makes, then I think that's a pretty good compromise. So hopefully I'll be back in a little while with some more of his makes. If you've enjoyed seeing what he's made, please do share some love for him in the comments box down below. Not only because what he's made is, I think, amazing, and I hope that you do too. Obviously, you will know that I run a small business. He is an amazing help to me running my small business. I would not be able to do it if it wasn't for him. I love the fact that he gets so involved with what I do. It's, all joking aside about him raiding my fabric stash and my hardware stash and using my sewing machine. I absolutely love that he is as passionate about what I do as what I am. So yeah, please do show him some love in the comments box down below, because he does moderate on my channel, so he will see it. And if he doesn't, then I will show him. So thank you very much if you've got this far, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the members of the Bag Maker Society Club and the YouTube channel members. Without them, I would not be able to make videos like this and share what my husband has been up to. So until next time, take care. See you soon. Bye.